So Eve was fed similar to Olam Haba, meaning Olam Haba, and that he get the cost of a as the pasuk says, horror. Rashi says the horror of the Yilda that she gave birth and she was pregnant. She gave birth. She was pregnant. She gave birth. Yalta together. Harry and related to be Omecha, meaning you have being pregnant, giving birth on the same day. It won't take a long time in the time of Mashiach. And similarly, these crops grew immediately and they could be grazed from that day. Oza Medaber further was speaking. Okay, this one was came. So after this, Vayomer Ima Eishel came and they said that the fire of God would go and the rest of it. Oza Medaber Zeb further this one was coming. This one was speaking. Vayomer Kastim Samu Shlosh Roshim says the Kastim placed 3 heads, 3 bands. I don't know exactly. I guess that's an army coming after him. The Yevshitu called Al Hagamolim, and they've just destroyed all the Gemara. And fell among the cattle. Okay? Vehicle and taken them. V'gomer and the rest of it. Vehicle al an army, they fell on the okay, Odzim Medar, so further this one was speaking. Zeb on this one came. Yom V'nachum and Osecha Oklin the Shosim says your sons and daughters are eating and drinking yain bebesa esleihem before. They're eating, drinking wine in the house of their brother, the elder. V'hini ruach l'lola ba midbar, and behold, a great wind came from over the desert. V'yiga be'arba pinos habayis, and hit the 4 corners of the house. V'yipol al minarman, and fell on the young ones. V'goma, etc. V'yakom Eov v'yikras menalav, and Eov got up and ripped his his cloak. V'yagas his rosho, and shaved his head. V'yomer aram yatzosim in Beth. Yimei says, naked I left from the womb of my mother. But aram ashut shama, and naked I will return them. Hashem nasan, Hashem lakach. Hashem gave me all this wealth and stuff, and Hashem took it. It's fine. Yehi Shem Hashem avarach, and behold, the name of Hashem should be blessed. Behold, those lo chat Eov lo not nitan nasan tefillah lokim, and he did with all this. He didn't sin Eov, and he didn't lay reproach on God. Okay. Rashi says, no. But here, Yom, and it was the day. And behold, the men of God came to stand. Yom Hashem al Satan, Hashem said to Satan, Amy that help from which of you come? V'yan your Satan responded to Hashem. V'yomer mishrat the earth from the traveling on the earth. V'gomer. The fun of the, so now this pasuk is translated into what it really was happening. The fun of, he said in front of Hashem, Shalom, the master of the universe. Shatati b'chol olam, I walked over the whole earth. V'lo matzasi ke'amdech Avram, I didn't find like your servant Avram. Sha'amart lo, just told him, Kum yisalach la'aretz l'arka l'rachos, go walk the land to its length and width. Ki l'chal etznanik, it's you, I'm going to give it to you. B'shashik v'shavikesh l'ag l'kav v'sarim, and the time he's wanted to bury sorrow, and he didn't find a place to bury her. I didn't think after your traits. I didn't find anyone like Hashem said to Satan, Samta, have you placed your heart to my servant Eov? There's no one like her in the land, the Gomer and the rest of it. And he's still staying in his pureness. And his, yeah. With his disani bo levalim plinum, although you have moved against me to destroy him without cause, meaning you've convinced me to, Hesed is like to seduce, to eat him for no reason, or to swallow him for no reason, destroy him. Amr Rabbi Yochanan says the Molim Mikveh Pasuk wasn't written, Shalom would be impossible to say. Adam Shesitin also, when he says like a person that gets persuaded him and he gets persuaded. Okay, meaning Hashem will let himself get persuaded as if it's possible to say about Hashem that. The most recent time in Mishnah is taught, Yored Masa, and he goes down and distorts, makes them sin. But Olam Marcus goes up and raises up anger about the sin that he caused, or helped cause. Nota Rishos, he takes permission to punish him, but Nota Neshama takes his soul and kills him. Rashi says, Natisin Tana, you're a master of all the Margis, Nota Rishos, and Nota Neshama. You're the Mata, goes to the bottom, the Mata Esabirs, and makes all the creations make mistakes. Lachatzo to sin. Olam Lamala goes up above. Margis is a Schamas Melech and wakes up the anger of the king. The Hashtanuso with his, I guess with being his satanis, I don't know. Okay. Notu Mimena Rishos, he takes from him permission. The Haragas Samchot to kill a sinner. Mekivan Shanas Rishos, once he's given the permission. And it says, and as it says, and I was seduced through him, meaning he's the one who asked for permission and seduces him. Vayana Satanas Hashem, Vayomer Od Ba'ad Or, and the son responds to Hashem, skin for skin, and everything which a man said has, he will give for his life. Ulam Shalach Nabi. Okay, I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, Ulam Shalachna Yadachal of the Gab as Atmo the Esbasar. So behold now, send your hand and touch himself and his flesh. Imlo al Panachi Barach. If not for your face, he will bless, meaning he will not do to the opposite of bless. V'yomer Hashem, and Hashem said, Al Satan, he no biyadcha, behold it in your hands. Achas not shomer, but his soul you should guard. V'yatzu Satan meis Hashem, and the Satan left from the face of Hashem. V'yachas Yov, and he hit Yov with Gomer, etc. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Kashatzar Satan Yosem Mishal Yov. Yitzchak said, it's harder the pain of the Satan more than of Yov. Mashal Eved Shamlo Rabbit, it's the parable to a slave servant which said to his master, Shavr Chavis Ushmar Sienim. It says, break the barrel and they guard the wine which is inside of it. Sarashal Satirashi says, Shehuzkak Sat Lishmar Es Hanefesh Yov, which we forced to guard the soul of Yov, then it shouldn't go out. Amr Yishlachim Shachim says, who Satan, who Yetzirah, who Malacham Abbas. He's the Satan, he's the Yetzirah, he's the Malacham Abbas. Who Satan, the Ksiv, he's the Satan, the Ksiv, the Satan, Meis B'nei Hashem, the Satan left from the face of Hashem. Who Yetzirah, he's the Yetzirah, the Ksiv Hasam, it says over there, Rak Olayom. He's only bad the whole day. Their nature is bad all the day, talking about the Yetzirah. The Ksiv Hasam says over here, Rak Elav El Tishtahu Yaduka, just upon him you shouldn't send your hand, same word Rak. Who Malacham Abbas, the same Malacham Abbas. The Rasiv Achas Nafsha Shomer says, however his soul you should guard. Amma B'didei Kaima, where do you see that it's in his hand to kill him? He's saying, don't kill him, but you could. You're the guy who could kill him, meaning he's the Malacham Abbas. Amr Levi, Satan Penina, Lashem Shemayim Niskavnu. The Satan and Penima were both intending for the sake of heaven. Satan, the Kivan, the Chazil, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Satan, since he saw that Hashem, the Nasya Daite Basri, that he was turning his das towards Yiv. Amr Chas V'Sholem Minshe Le, the Rachmanus Davram, he says Chas V'Sholem, then he's going to forget about the Rachmanus of Avram, which he did all the great things, but Yiv was doing better. Penina, the Siv, the Pasuk says, the Sarasa and her co-wife of Hannah angered her. Gam Kas also means her co-wife anger is the literal translation. Gam Kas also anger. Bavur Harima and in order to make her fret. Okay? And they say that's to make her daven. But that was L'Shem Shemayim. Because Hannah wouldn't have kids, so he made her more wanted. Darsha of Bachla Bar Yaakov. Yaakov made a drasha. Be Papnaya, in Papnaya. Also Satan Vinashka the Karya, the Satan came and kissed him on his feet, says, yes, I did it L'Shem Shemayim. Okay. Behold this by him it was standing with his Satan. Little it's never take the soul. Sorrow Shlulitul is warning him not to take it, but he could take it because he's a Malacham Abbas. Bavur Harima, nor that she should complain. Shetisraim al Shahi Akar, that she should complain about the fact that she has no kids with this ball and Chana will daven. Lahab, okay. With all this, he didn't sin Yev with his mouth. Amarav with his mouth, he didn't sin Believe with his mind, with his heart he sinned. Maigal Kamer, what did he say? Eretz not biyad Rosh. He says the land is given in the hands of a wicked person. Penei Shavteha Yechasa. He covers the faces of its judges are covered. Imlo Efo Mihu. If not he, then who is it? Okay. Rabbi says, Bikashiv Lahavach Kara Alpian, you wanted to turn the bowl on its mouth. Okay, fine. So Rashi, let's see Rashi about that. Havach Alpia, Laager Kokava to uproot all honor. Shechir forgive that he was blasphemizing and saying that Hashem has turned evil. Chaz v'shalom. Amalei Abai said to him, Lo Dibar Yev El Kineged. Satan, Yev was only talking about the Satan. Let me see and he wasn't talking about actually Hashem, the real. So the Bach what's in a column before that, Rashi. Okay. Kitanai is willing to Nabraisa. Eretz not to be on Rosh, the land has been given to the hands of a wicked person. Rabbi Lezer says, because Yev Lahavach Kara Alpia, Yev wanted to uproot the bowl on its mouth. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua, Lo Dibar Yev El Klapi. Satan, the Yev was only talking towards the Satan. Al Daitacha Kilo Ersha, on your mind since although Kilo Ersha Be'en B'yad Chamatzil, say, although you know that I am not wicked, Be'en B'yad Chamatzil, there's no one to save you from it. That's the literal translation. Amar Rav Rava says, here's what the pasuk really means. Because Yev L'Torah is Kolov and Kulam and Aden, Yev wanted to pater everyone from the judgment. Amar L'Panav is in front of Hashem. Rebbeinu Shalom, Master of the universe. Brasa Shor, Prusos Sudukos. Parzazav Mitzvukos. You've created an ox with its split hooves. Varasa Chama, you created a donkey. Versus and the Kalutos, and its hooves are put together, or attached. Brasa Gan Eden, you created Gan Eden. Brasa Gehenim, you created Gehenim. Brasa Tzadikim, Brasa Rishayim, you created Tzadikim, you created Rishayim. Mima Akival Yadakol, who can stop you? Who's holding back from your actions? Meaning, you created everything you create happens. You created nature, you created bad people and good people. Rashi says, "L'Torah and Gula Bedinu Shel Hakadosh Baruch Hu, from the judgment of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Lo Mishan Nusim Him, to save their force, like the Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shabar, through Hashem who created Lahem for them Yetzirah." Here's what he means to say: Al Daitacho Kilo Kilo Ersha, on your mind, or through your whatever you want, your choice. Kilo Ersha will not become a Rasha. If you wanted, I wouldn't become a Rasha. But sure, but sure, but Perusos of Sedukos, you created an ox with its hooves are split, and then the Chamor Perusokalutas, and a donkey has its together hooves. As that the heart of it is tomato. This one you said is tar, and this one is tame. Akobal Yadach, everything came through your hands. Ata Brasa Bo Simania. Some of you created it the signs of Tama. Brasa Sadikim, you created Sadikim. Ayida Yitzhar to the good nature. Brasa Rishayim, you created Rishayim. Ayida Yitzhar to the bad nature. Lefichach Ein Nitzol Miyadach. Therefore, there's no saving from your hands. Ki Mi Yaakov Anusim Hein Achotim. Who's going to hold back? There are no sin. The people, they're honest. The people who sin. Dorish Rav made a drasha might say which from the pasuk we're also Maya had related what is the response from the friends of Eov? Avata Tafer Yira, it says also you do away with fear. Vitigra Sichel Ifnei Kel, and you impair devotion in front of God. Baruch Kadosh Baruch Hu Yitzhar, but Hashem created Yitzhar. Bar Lo Torah Tavlin, he created the Torah, which is a medicine for it. Rashi says, Bar Lo Torah, Tavlin, okay. Tavlin, Shehima, that's a medicine. Shehima Matelis is a hirhuri, a very destroys the thoughts of sin. Kedamah Ba'amat in general, imponim b'cham in the rules that if this disgusting one comes to meet you, Mashchei will the base of murder, string him into the study home. Im Evan who in the muck of its stone it will be melted. Okay. Hilkach or whatever, it will stop the bad thoughts. Hilkach, Lava Nusim, and who therefore they're not a Nusim, Shari Yacholim Lahatzi Latim, because they're able to save themselves through learning Torah. Torah Rav Rabbit makes a drasha. Might say Rachta Evan Alai Tavo. The blessing of him that was lost come upon me. Hulev Almana Aran, and the heart of the widow, and I caused the widow's heart to sing. The blessing of the lost one should come on me. Malamitra goes to me of me. So it teaches that he would steal fields from Yisomim, and then make it better and then return it to them. And the heart of the widows should sing. Anytime there was an amana, the law have enough for them, they wouldn't marry her. He would go and put his name on her. And would come and marry her. And that's he's saying that's the chush should stand for me right now. And then okay. The blessing of the lost one. That he thought that he lost his field. Not the person, but he didn't really lose his field. He made it better. Unless he means evil, thought he was going to lose his field. Shadi Shemei Alavi, he put his name on that almana. Omer Shahi Krovo, so we say that she's his relative. Omedamba Lesiano, or speak to her in order to marry him, and then people would say, okay, wow, she's kosher, let's marry her. Lu Shako Yishkol Ke Asi, Kosi, Vihavisi. It would be weighed as I did and as it was. It was Naim Yisu Yachan, and on scales they should be weighed together. Amar Rav Afal Pumediv, Rav says dust in the eyes in the mouth of Yiv. Kavrusa Klabishmaya, is they're really like friends to heaven. You can't say, well, you're doing wrong and you should really judge me right. That's wrong. Lu Yesh Beinenu Machiach, if there was between us a person who would rebuke you, Yashas Yado Al Shnenu. Whom he lay his hand upon both of us. Amar Rab says, Afal the Pumadiyav, dust in the eye in the mouth of Miyav, Plum Yeshavich Mochiachas Rab, is there any kind of slave servant that rebukes his master? Okay, meaning you shouldn't be saying that kind of thing, that get an arbiter and see who's right. There is Prati Le'enai, a covenant I have cut from my eyes. Why should I think about a basula? Because, meaning a virgin, because he only said he had a covenant, I'm only going to think about my own wife. Amar Rabbi says, dust into the eyes, the mouth of Ew, him with another woman he would not think about, but his wife he would. Even his own wife he wouldn't look to sieve. It says, behold, now I know you, Sarah, are good, that you are a good wife, beautiful, parents you are. Now when he's talking about Sarah, he didn't know about Sarah. He said, now I know about Sarah in the middle of the trip. I called him, Carlo Havi Yadaba, implies that originally he didn't know about her, because he didn't look at her, his own wife. Kola Olam V'Yelech, as the clouds consume and goes away, Cain Yorid Shol Lo Yahal. So to the people who go to the death, they're in the grave, they shall not come out. Amar Rabba Mikan Shekafar Yov B'Tzudas Meitz. From here, this pasuk tells us that he denied the resurrection of the dead. Asher B'Shar Yeshupenu, which when he crushes me in a tempest, and it multiplies my wounds for no reason. Amar Rav, Eov Bisara Cherif Bisara Shiver. So he said with the wind he can manipulates my wounds for no reason. He blasphemized with the wind, and he got responded with a wind. Rashi says, Kavusha Klavish Maya, Hadam Lefnei Ashkina, Medam Lefnei Ashkina Kal Adam Hamisvakeh Lechaver. He spoke in front of Hashem like someone who's rebuking his friend. Bo V'nishkol Mi Chayav Lechaver. Go, come, let's judge who's chayav to who. Min Hasar, from the wind. Lashon Seir, that's the language of hair. Kinatani Harbin Imam Brashi Adam, it says in the Brisa, many hairs made command. Mitashtasha, okay. So it's not actually storm. Means hair. Not storm. The Saraf here, if he rebuked with a storm, the pasuk says, "Asher b'shar yishufenu," because he crushed me with a tempest. All in the front of He said in front of Hashem, "Rebbeinu Shalom, Shem Ruach Zara." Maybe a wind of a tempest, of a storm. Of the lefanach has passed in front of you. V'nis chalef l'chal bein Eov li'oyev, and is swapped you between the word Eov and between the word Oyev. The vav is moved over, and you think I'm really an enemy. So he responded to him with a wind, with the storm. The Chosiv V'yan Hashem is Eov Minasar, and Hashem responded to Eov from the storm. V'yomer, and he said, V'gum, and the rest of it. Ezer na kegever chalatzecha. Gird now like a strong person your loins. Put on a belt. Okay. Eshalcha v'odienu. I will ask you, and you shall tell me what I need to know. Amelo, he said to him, Harbinim barasila, the many hairs I created in a man. Mechol nimam v'nimam barasila guma b'fneatzim, and every single hair I created I made its own hole for it. Shelo yu shtayim yon k'miyikum achos, in order that two shouldn't be draw from one hole. Shall moli shtayim that yonkos migum achos. If it would be that two hairs were drawing from one hole, machshichos or in einov shaladim, they would darken from the eyes, the light of the eyes of man, you wouldn't be able to see. Okay? Between each hole I didn't make a difference, I didn't switch. But between Eov and Eov, I did switch to me. Hashem is very clear, very exacting. He wouldn't make that mistake. Or any mistake. Who has divided a channel? Harvey, that's the next pasuk. Harvey tifim barasi ba'ava, many drips, but again that was called hair sara, and similar to the word storm sara. Harvey tifim barasi ba'ava, many drops I made in the clouds. The whole tipa barasi the first, and every single drop I made a form. B'fnei its own form. Kidei shelo yesh shtei tipin yotzos midafos echad. Know that two drops shouldn't come from the same form. Shomol shel tipin yotzos midafos echad. If two drops would come from one form, mitashos those authorities would make the whole land into mud. The any most person wouldn't be able to give out fruits. Between each drop it hasn't switched to me. Bein Eov the Oyev it has in Salif. Between Eov and Oyev it did switch for me? Of course not. My mashman the hayutala lishman the tafusu. How is it my mashman? This language of ta'ala means form. He Amirab Bashil says if Yas ta'ala can base time zara. And he fashioned a channel, tala, about the altar, as great as would certain 2 saws of seed. So it's called a channel. Okay, so it comes not the fusta means channel, not form. It means channel. Sorry. And he means, I don't know if it's channel, because this pasuk says, and he fashioned a channel about the altar as great as would 2 saws of cedar. Okay, that big. But it means channel. Mitashos Azaretz would to make the whole land mud. Osis Azaretz would make the land like mud. Okay. V'derech lechaz is kalos, or the path of the lightning of thunder. Harvey kolos b'ras many voices are made in the sky, in the clouds. V'kol kol v'kol b'ras lo shvil b'fneas, when each every voice and made its own route on its own. The two voices shouldn't come from out of one path. It would be that two voices would come out of one path in the clouds. Is to destroy the whole world. Then and his scholars between each voice I didn't make a difference. Between the scholars between Eov and Oyev I didn't make a mistake, of course not. Hayadat Ace Ledis Yali Sela. Do you know when the time of giving birth for the goats, wild goats of the rock give birth? Kal Ayalis Tishmor, can you mark when the hens of the calf, when hinds do calves, can you mark when, I guess, hens is some kind of deer, do calves, they give birth and stuff? Okay. Yal is Achzari al Banat, so the Gemara explains. Yal is this, she's an Achzari, it's about her, she's cruel to her kids. Well, then this when she gives birth, she's had enough pain and she's ready to get out of here. All of the Rosh Hahar, she goes to the top of a mountain. Kadesh Yipol Mimena V'Yamasno, she'll fall from her that kid and die. V'ani Mazno Nesher, and I prepare for her an eagle. Yeah. Shemekablo b'chalafel, should accept him with its wings. Manichol ifnei, leave in front of her. Vilmoli maktim rega echad, and if it would be earlier, one moment, open sacha rega echad, be 1 moment late, biyad makes immediately that kid would die. Bein regular and escalously, between each moment it hasn't been switched for me, I make sure that it happens exactly the right time. Bein Eov loyev and escalously, between Eov and Oyev, it's strange to me. Okay. Kol ayol tishmar, and can you mark when the hinds of the do calf? Ayol is a racham. This hind has a narrow womb. V'shashra koras lettuce. Time she bends down to give birth. Ani mazmin la dark, when I prepare for a snake. Shemachisha b'veis racham, that bites her in the womb. Misrafe b'molda, and then when she then becomes loosed. Okay, and she gives birth. Vilmoli maktim rega echad would be that it would be early 1 moment. Or ma'achor rega echad miyad meis, immediately she would die. Bein regular the scholars between each moment has been switched to me. Bein Eov lo Oyev, the scholars between Eov and Oyev, it switched me. Okay, I'm not sure scientifically how these things work out. Ask your local rabbi to work it out with science and stuff. Darkness and nachush is a snake. Machisha is bitten. Noshachas bites. Mizrapa lashon refuyim, in the language would become loose. Okay. Eov lo bedas yidaber. Eov didn't speak with knowledge. Didn't speak with it thoughtfully. Basically means. But the bar lo behaskell, and his words without wisdom. But kilo yilo dibarti alai nechona. He didn't speak about me properly. Ka'avdi Eov, like my servant Eov, he didn't speak properly. Amar Rabba Mikan shein all the mitzvahs b'shasar. From here that we learn that a person is not grabbed at the time of his pain. If he's in pain, he can say things which he shouldn't really be saying. Because he just said he did. Rashi says, "Shinalam mitzvahs liskayav al shu medaber kashem machmas sarv," to be obligated because he said bad things when he was in pain. We assume the come a little bit das and troubles. The come a little bit das yidaber, because it's not with pain you should speak. Lo amar berasha yidaber, doesn't say with wickedness he spoke. Ella lo bedas, not with knowledge. When they heard the 3 friends of Eov, as Kol Ra Hazos, all this bad, Shabal Allah, which came to him, V'yavu Yishma, when a person came from his place, Alifas Atimani, the man came from his place, it was Alifas Atimani, Ubelda Hayat, Ashufi, Betzofer, Hanaamti. Vayivadu Yachto Lavo Lenod Lo Lenachamo. They made an appointment together to come mourn with him and to comfort him. What does it mean they made an appointment together? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav says, teach that they all came into one gate. Tana ben kolecha ve'acha shlosha mea pirates and piracy says between each one was 300 pirates, and still they made a deal that they're going to come together. How did they know that he was sick, that they should come? Some say there was a crown that they had, and a special type of crown. And some say there was a tree they had. Rashi says, Kisarim, they had crowns. Uvachol kazer shlosha partzufim, and each crown they had three heads on them. V'ish as shemo mechugek al partzuf. When each one had its name on its form, on the head form, okay, face. Ukashaboyim yisurim al echamem, when the yisurim come on one of them, partzufo mishtana mechenilanu, its form would change. And similarly, the tree, if it would be a tree, was this special tree that would, when it would go bad, you know that something's happened to that person. But even the Kamashi have the odd distance, it would will they knew. Amr Rav says, how does Amr this is what people say? O Chavr Yiv, or friends like the friends of Yiv, O Misusa, or death. Rashi says, Dachmashi, I don't know, Platio. Okay, O Chavr the Yiv, or friends like the friends of Yiv. And it's a person doesn't have friends, it's better that he's dead. Okay. And it was then it started man to become more on the land. And daughters were born to them. So what happened when daughters were born to them? Rabbi Yochanan says more profit, there's more kids in the world. Rish Lakish says fighting came into the world over these daughters. Amalei Rish Lakish, the Rabbi Yochanan said to Rabbi Yochanan, the Amr Ravuya according to you, it says more kids came into the world. According to this, how come it wasn't double the daughters of Eve? I'm not sure why it's okay, even according to Rish Lakish, but okay. Point is, wasn't there more daughters? Amr Lo said to him, no, you do shameless. Granted, they weren't double the names. They weren't. There's not twice as many. But they were doubled in prettiness. The pasuk says, "Vayilo shiva banim shlosh banos," and it was to him seven sons and 3 daughters. Meaning, once this all ended, and then Hashem gave him double. So he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. V'yikra shema achal Yemima, and the first one was called Yemima. The first daughter, v'shema shniya Ketzitza. And the second one was called Ketzia, v'shema shlishis Karen Hafach, and the third one was called Karen Hafach. Yemima, why is she called Yemima? She said Doma Liyom, she's similar to the day. She was that. Rashi says, she's Doma Liyom Bar Kacham, she's bright like the sun, or shining like the sun. Rashi said the one before. So, there's no doubling of good than that being doubly pretty. Mr. Rashi before that too. When they were born daughters, because so according to the first opinion, it has more kids because it was quicker to have to her seed, I guess, because there's more daughters, more women to give them seed. I think it's better low. It's better to have him see because he has more daughters. He's going to get more likely to have kids because he has more daughters to get pregnant and have kids. I don't know. Okay, so we did Ketzia. Rachel knows that the Ketzia she smelled like a Ketzia. Min bosim, the type of spice. Karen Hafach means the upturned horn. Amr the Rabbi Shila said in the house of Shila, Shadoma the kind of dekarish, similar to that horn of a karish. Okay. Kind of dekarish, Rashi says, Min chaya, it's a type of wild animal. V'karnayim mishpirim kmotzava, and their horns are black like the dye. Okay, Shadoma the Karna the Kerish, Mechaikolab the Marava, they laughed at them in the west. Karna the Kerish Lakusi, like the horn of a Kerish animal is a curse, it's a bad thing. Elam Rav Chesed says, Krokma the Rishka b'mine, just like a Krokma the Rishkma, which they're saying is a garden saffron, and is in a type. Shenemar Kisikra B'Foch, as it says, which is the best kind, which is the best of its kind, just like it's the best of its kind. So too, this lady was the best of her kind, in terms of, she was the best of her kind. Shenemar Kisikra B'Foch, as it says, and so the way they're translating it here, Karen refers to garden, and Poch means ornament, and they're going to prove ornament means ornament because Kisikra B'Foch, because though you enlarge your eyes with paint, you are beautiful, and your beauty yourself is vain. Okay, but the point is, enlarge with paint. Somehow, paint means similar to ornament, and just like poch means ornament, so it's the ornament of the garden. So it's the paint of the garden, or the ornament of the garden. So it's the best. Okay, that's how they're translating according to Rashi. Karma the Vishkak, Karkum Shulgan, that is the ornament of the garden, Hagala beginning, which is growing in the garden. Bimine, in its type, Shehu Ma'ula Emin Shar Besam, that's better than other spices. Mishar. Okay. Kitanai, Vashem, Rabbi Shimon bar Rabbi is illegal labor. So Rabbi Shimon bar Rabbi was born to him a daughter. Habakkuk, Kolish died, he had a weakened heart. He's like, what? I got a daughter, I want a son. Amalei Abu, his father said to him, Revi Abal Liolam, more kids have come to the world because the daughter creates more kids. Amalei bar Kafar said to him, consoling to nothingness, the father consoled him. The tiny learns in the Brisa, below Zachar. It's impossible to have a world without males, without females. But the praise is the one who has the kids who are male. And woe is the one who has the kids who are female. Below. It's impossible to have the world without both without a spice merchant, and without a tanner. Both praise is the one who has this trait. Is a spice merchant. Oilo the Mishim and also Barsi was the one who is a tanner. Kittanai, we learned in a Brisa. Hashem Berachas Avram B'Kol, and Hashem blessed Avram with everything. My B'Kol, what does it mean B'Kol? Rabbi Meir says Shlo Haislo Bas, he didn't have a kid, and that means that's B'Kol. So that we see that it's good not to have kids. Not to have daughters. Rabbi Huda who just says Haislo Bas, that he did have a daughter. So obviously that's a good thing. Achirim say Bas Haislo, he did have a daughter. Avram to Avram, B'Chol Shemon, her name was B'Chol. Rabbi Elazar Ramadai says it's the nugi, it's tag Ninos Haisa Belivo. It's the ninos he had in his heart. Shalom Avram Abinu, meaning he knew astrology. Shekol Malach Mizrach Amar Mashkim and Lefisco, that all the kings of the east and west would get up early to get to his door. And Shimon ben Yochai says, Evan Tova Haisa Tzli B'Tzara, and a good precious stone was hanging on his neck. Shalom Rabim Vam Rabim Shekol Chola Haroa, also that any sick person which would see it, Miyanis Rap, immediately he would be healed. Vishash Niftar Avram Avinu Mina Olam, in time when Avram Avinu was killed, ended from the world. Tala Kadosh Baruch Hu Begal Golcham L'Shem Heged. Yeah, he left the world. Okay, he died. Okay, Tala Kadosh Baruch Hu Begal Golcham L'Shem hung it from the neck of the sun. Amar Abai Hainadam Inshi. This is what the people say. Idli Yoma Idli Katia. As the day progresses, sickness is lifted. Rashi says, Idli Yoma, Hogba Shemesh Kishacham Zerachas, when the sun goes up, when the sun is shining, Idli Katir, Mekochol, the holy the sickness becomes less. Dabarach, another explanation. Shalom merit Esav Yamav, another way to say the word kol is because Esav didn't rebel in his days. It was after he died. We're going to see later. Dabarach, another explanation. Also Yishmol Teshuva B'Yam, that Yishmol did Teshuva in his days, in Avram's days. Shlomo Esav Yamav, Rash, okay, you know, how do you know the Gemara is continuing? The pasuk says, V'yavu Esav and Asad, and the Esav came from the field, and he was tired. Matana, we learned in the Brisa. Also, Yom Niftar Avram Avinu. That day, Avram Avinu had died. But also, Yaakov Avinu Tabshil Shel Adashim, and Yaakov Avinu had made a dish of lentils. As Yitzchak, in order to console Yitzchak his father. Ma'ishna Adashim. The Gemara asks, what's the difference in Adashim? Why is it picking Adashim? Amri b'Marav, the same Rav Mishmei the Rav Barmari, the name of Rav Barmari. Ma'adash Zu Ein Lopad. Just like this lentil doesn't have a mouth to it. It's round. There's no opening. No cracks in it. Af avol in lopaz, so to this avol with no mouth is not supposed to talk to people. He's supposed to be quiet and stay by himself. Davar achor, another explanation. Ma and dashazu magogelis, just like this lentil is round. Af avelis magogelis, so too mourning is a circular event. Maseres avoyel, and comes around onto the people of the world. Don't be so sad. Everyone's gonna die. It's a circular event. My benayu, what's the difference between them? There is between them to console them with eggs. They're round, but they don't have a crack in them, so they don't have a mouth, but they aren't really as round enough. It's better to be fully round like a lentil. Says, 5 veris that Rasha Esav did on that day. He violated a first stage of married woman, who was a Naira, very young maiden. Hargis and Nefesh, he killed a person. V'kafar b'yikar, he denied God. V'kafar b'tzkias meitzim, and he denied the resurrection of the dead. V'shadas b'chor, and he despised the birthright. While Naira Ma'orsa, he had relation with a young maiden who was buried the first stage. The Ksiv Pasuk says over here, V'yava Esav and Asad, and Esav came from the field. The Ksiv Pasuk says over there, he was Sada Matzah because he found her in the field. Hargis and Nefesh, and it says the word Sada by both of them. And he isn't given the Sada, and by Sada Matzah, it's talking about Naira Morsa. Argus Nefesh, he killed a person. The Ksiv Pasuk says over here, Ayef, he was tired. But Ksiv Pasuk says, Oinal li ki ayef anafshi lahargim, and woe is to me, now to me, because I'm tired from my soul from the dead people. So it says dead, from the killed people. If you see the killing, it says tired, and it says here, Esav was tired. It's connected to. The keeper of Be'ekar, and he denied the God. The Ksiv says up here, why is this to me, this? The Ksiv says over there, this is my God, and I will honor him, or I'll glory him. Okay, so the poet says Zeh by God, and says, why do I need Zeh? That's meaning, why do I need God? He blasphemes God. The keeper of this makes me denied skills that makes him. The Ksiv says over here, Hini Anochi Holy Lamos, behold, I'm going to die. And I don't need this anymore because once I'm dead, it's all over. Implying he's never coming back. He denied his skills to make him. He made little of the Bechorah, the Ksiv, but even the Bechorah, it says the pasuk straight out, and he despised the birthright. Okay, Rashi says, Ein Lopeh has no mouth. Shahai Yoshe B'domim, he's sitting and he's silent and stunned, basically, and silent. But Doshim Ein Lopeh, Doshim have no mouth to him. Kamoshi Yesh Lepulim, as there is to some sort of beans, L'shar Mina kidneys and other types of beans, can be static like a certain type of crack. To console them with eggs. They don't have a mouth, but they're not really round, can go like a wheel. And he belittled the Bechorah. He degraded the service which was placed upon which was to the Bechorah. Shat Tirgum Shel Bizayon. Shat is the translation of the word Bizayon, of degrading. It says, why do you make me light? Tirgum Yonasan Ishtashtni, which is the word Shat. Okay. I don't know, kilson. Maybe kilsoni means embarrass me, some other thing, but it means similar to bizayon. Vish also Shmuel Tshuva Yom and Shmuel did Tshuva in his days. How do we know? And how do we know? Ki had the Ravina like that. Ravina Rabcham Bar Buzi and Rabcham Bar Buzi. Have Yosef committed the Rav was sitting in front of Rav. Become a nominee. Rav was like half asleep. Amarle Ravina Rabcham Bar Buzi. Ravina said to Rabcham Bar Buzi. Vadi de Miso called Miso Sheyesh Bo Gavia Zu Ki Miso Shel Tzedika. For sure, it's been said that anytime it says in it Gavia, like so that kind of passing away, he Gavia'd and he died or expired. This is the Misa of Tzaddikim. Amrle, and he says, yeah. What door Mabel, the door of the Mabel, the time of the flood. Amrle on and it says Gavia there, and they expired. On Gavia v'Asifa. It says we are talking about when it says both expired and Asifa and bringing in, and they were gathered together. That type of dying. That's what they says both those terms. Then it's tzaddik. Well, Yishmol, the Sibbe of Gavia v'Asifa, but there's Yishmol. It says in it that expired and Asifa and gathered in. On the Hockey, it's talking about Rava until here, or like as this is happening. It's like Rava got up. Amalu, he said to him, Dardaki with children, okay, or I think it's school teachers, but Halchei Amar Rabbi Yochanan, here's what Rabbi Yochanan says, Yishmol also tshuva b'chai aviv, Yishmol did tshuva in the lifetime of his father. Shnamar v'yikru also Yitzchak v'Yishmol, it says they buried him Yitzchak and Yishmol, one of his kids, but Yishmol was the elder and he let Yitzchak go first. Maybe in the way of their wisdom it calculated them, and Yitzchak was just smarter. But really, El Miyata v'yikru also Esav v'Yaakov one of, and then but now, if that really was the way to do it, then why is this pasuk saying, and they buried them Esav and Yaakov as kids? Yaakov is smarter than Esav. My time will why doesn't calculate them the way of the wisdom? So since he made him first, he made Yitzchak first, Idvuri Advei made him a leader. For the fact that he let him go first, for sure we see the tshuva in his lifetime. Says it's on the Bryce, three people gave already in this world. Timon, I guess he fed them in this world. We'll see later, tomorrow.